Hi everybody, this is Christy. I am the assistant sound designer and the audio engineer at the Rose Theater. So, I know I said part 2 was editing the sounds that we've recorded, but while I was making that video, I realized that it might be more beneficial to first show you around Audacity and what Audacity can do. Just these simple tools up here, so that way when we go into editing, I don't have to stop every second to explain what each tool is doing. So let's do that. So this is Audacity and this is what it looks like usually. Sometimes when you download it, it doesn't have some of these tools up here. So the first thing we're going to learn is how to get your tools up here. It's simple. You just go to View. Nope. Oh, I'm in QuickTime Player. All right, there we go. View. You go to Toolbars, and these are the tool bags that we're going to want to have on. So just leave off the scrub toolbar and the spectral selection toolbar. We're not gonna go through those today. Alright, so first real quick, we're gonna need a piece of audio so that we can edit, or so I can show you these little, what these tools do. So this is the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna record our audio. Now before we record, I'm gonna show you where this is coming from. So the audio is going to come from this is our input for our microphone. It's going to go just from my microphone input. If you had an audio interface, you would be able to select it right here. Now, my microphone only does mono recording, which means that there is only one input to it. If you have an audio interface, sometimes you can make recording be a stereo recording. And what a stereo recording is, it's simply put, is just a left and a right signal all in one track. So listen to some music and only listen to it from one headphone. And then switch it around and listen to it with the other headphone. You're going to notice it sounds a little bit different, right? This is what stereo sound is. It means there's two different signals going out to your headphones. Now, if the recording had been done in mono sound, you would only get one signal and both sides of your headphones would sound exactly the same. So that is just crudely a fast explanation on mono and stereo sound. So now that we know that my voice is coming in through the microphone, we are just going to record something, and let's go ahead and do that. Hello, we are testing some Audacity tools today. Look at us, testing some Audacity tools. Alright, I'm so lame. Okay. Hello, we are testing some Audacity tools today. Look at us, testing some Audacity tools. Next, a couple of tools are right here. Actually, technically right here. We'll get into these, but I don't use them as much. So this is just simply your select tool, which means that you select your track, just like this. With that is you cannot put an effect on any piece of your track unless it's selected. So this is the best way to do it. Now you can also, if you want to select the whole track, you can also just press right there. That will select the whole track. We're going to want to head and cut the beginning and the end so there's no silence when we press play. So here we're going to jump over to these tools right here. This is the cut tool. So if you press that, it's going to go away. Also, if you noticed right there, it told me Command X would also do the cut. So if we go to the undo tool right here, that will undo that selection, and I can just press Command X and it quickly goes away. Just select it, make sure that that's what you don't want, and Command X, and then that's it. Another thing you can do with the selection tool is you select something and then you have to press Shift, right? You see how these turned? This right here means it's looped. It's a loop, it's going to play a loop. Some Audacity tools today, look at us. 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 Some Audacity tools today, some Audacity tools today. Really annoying. And then we're going to stop that. So that is helpful for when you're editing just like one piece and you don't want to have to edit it, press play, stop, press play, stop. It's a quick loop. Also, if you noticed when I press shift, this turned, there's this little arrow on it. That just simply means that if I press record right now, it's going to record in a new track. So it's just going to open up a new track just like that. If I were to just hit record, it would actually just keep going on the same track. Cool. So I think that's it with the select tool. Alright, second thing is the envelope tool. I guess you can press F2. My computer does not have the function keys, so I can't do that. So I don't usually do that. What this does is that this makes your track louder or quieter, so it's really easy to use. I don't use it very often, but it's actually kind of fun, and now we're going to hear it. Hello, we are testing some Audacity tools today. I'm not doing nearly as... Here we go. Let's do that. No! So you see all I have to do is press anywhere on the track. This will make it quieter, and this would make it louder. Hello, we are testing some Audacity tools today. Look at us, testing some Audacity tools. Alright, well, that's how you do quick fades and stuff like that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, next off it is the zoom tool. If you just press on the zoom tool, you can just zoom in indefinitely until you're in the smallest section of the track. And then just to zoom out, you just press shift and then you zoom out. The next tool, we're going to zoom out, is going to be the time shift tool. Yeah, that's what we call it. Or F5. Again, I don't have the function bars. I've just noticed this. It makes me kind of sad, but that's okay. The time shift tool is really simple, and it looks like what it does. It just moves your track around. So let's say we did have a new track. The way you get a new track, we go track, add new. Let's just go ahead and add a mono track. You can move this around. You can also move it down here. And then if you put these two together, you'll be able to hear them both at once. Listen. Hello, we are testing some Audacity tools today. Look at us, testing some Audacity tools. So I moved this all the way to the left and this one all the way to the right? So I did that here. And that is called panning. So this pans to the left, this pans to the right. Now if you had headphones, go ahead and just listen with your left ear, and then I'll play it again, and then just listen with your right ear, and you'll notice that you will hear this in separate parts of the headphone. So hello, we are testing some Audacity tools today. Look at us, testing some Audacity tools. Hello, we are testing some Audacity tools today. Look at us, testing some Audacity tools. That is stereo sound, and we do this at the roast quite a bit, especially when creating ambiance. Sometimes I want a bird to kind of start out on the right side of the stage and move all the way to the left side of the stage, and so we do that with panning, and then also some placement of speakers and stuff like that. So that is stereo. Right now these are actually 2 mono tracks, but that's how stereo works. Alright, so this can move back this way, and then we can move this back up, and we can get rid of this. Or, we got a couple more things to show you here, actually. So we're going to go back to our select tool just because it makes me feel better when I can't accidentally drag things around. So right here, here's another toolbar. This is your track toolbar. What this simply does is it controls what this track is doing. So we already saw how we can pan the track left or right. Other things we can do is that we can raise the gain or lower the gain. We can also mute the track, which means that, let's move this back in here. When I mute the track, you will see this becomes gray, and then this one stays on. That simply means is that when we play, we won't hear.
It would actually just keep going on the same track.
We won't hear that grayed out track, and that's simply so whenever you have a stack of a lot of different tracks, which happens often, which you will see happens a lot, you can listen specifically to one track. So the solo thing does about the exact same thing. You just press solo, but it leaves this one as the one you can edit. There is other things you can do to the track. You can make it a stereo track, which simply means it's going to put both of these together, which would mean this is the left side and this is the right side. But once you do that, you cannot edit them separately. So usually you want to have them both as mono tracks, edit them, and then make them a stereo track. Cool. So we are actually gonna split that. So we're gonna split stereo track, and that means I have 2 mono tracks again. You will see that this will pan back to left and right to show us that that's what it used to be. I'm gonna pan them back to the center. Cool. Another thing that we can do, it's again on our selection tool. Our selection tool selects, and then all the other tools go with that one. Let's also talk about this one. Alright, this is the multi-tool. Now, this is probably the fastest tool to use if you're coordinated. I can't. It's supposed to be able to do all of these tools together. I never know how to time shift with it. It's just not how I work. But as you can tell, you can envelop with it. And then you can also zoom in by, I guess, double clicking and dragging. Look at that. Yeah, and then I'm not sure how to zoom out with this. So I don't use it often, but that's what this tool does. It's multi-tool. It can do the selection, it can do the envelope, it can time shift, I'm pretty sure, but I can't ever get it to do that. Yeah. Cool. Let's go back to selection because it makes me happy. So we're going to select it. You can copy and paste like any computer program can do, or you can Command C and Command V. Copy and paste, that's really easy. Now there is 2 ways to silence your track, or 3 ways I guess. The first one is selecting and delete. The next one is if you need this selection to be quiet. Okay, let me show you something. So we're gonna record something, and I usually delete all the ums I do when I record these videos. There is a lot of ums, and then I'm going to show you how I do that because that's what this tool is really good at. So yeah, that's how I talk, kind of. Hopefully I've been editing most of my ums out, just because it's really embarrassing. I had an English teacher once who would get mad at me every time, and I think he was just trying to fix me. And usually when I speak like to humans, I don't say as much. But when I'm recording, it's a lot, you know, this recording thing. I like to stay behind. I guess I'm still behind my computer, but I'm recording myself. Anyways, the first thing I'm going to do, because I laughed at the end, I'm going to cut that laugh so that we don't hurt our ears listening back to it. Alright. So, let's zoom out. Here I am.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this.
Perfect. Let's zoom in.
Go ahead and
letting you know, I just pressed the space bar. Space bar is another way to press play.
And start this.
Okay, first we're gonna have to fine tune this. You don't want to delete the S off of start. Okay. So if I were to just delete this little piece where I say these two words are going to be running together.
And start.
So one, I took away too much of the S. So let's give that S back.
And start.
Alright, so you hear that?
And start.
It's running together. We don't want that to happen. So we're gonna undo. And instead of, we're gonna finish the word and. We are going to just silence that little bit.
And start. And start.
And then we are going to delete a lot of the silence, but we're going to leave some behind.
And start. Go ahead and start the.
There's still a little bit more that can be done, but that is what this tool does. It just silences in between instead of just deleting in between, which is really, really helpful. Now, this one does the opposite of that. I don't use this one as often, but just so you know, you can select a piece of your track, and then when you press this, it's going to delete everything outside of that. Command C. Undo. Sometimes I do that when I'm editing like 20 hours of recording, and by 20 hours I mean a 15-minute recording, and I just want to break it up into chunks. So yeah. Let's see, we've talked about all of these. We talked about this, undo, redo. And then there's just zoom. Zoom in, zoom out. This will zoom into that, just what you've selected. This will zoom right back out to show you the whole track. And this will toggle in between two different zooms. So that was a quick look into Audacity. Go ahead and play with some of these editing tools. If you want to go ahead and play with some of the effects, you can. Next time we'll edit those sounds we recorded and we'll have fun.